All right, so let's call the Finance Subcommittee meeting to order. We'll start by identifying for those that are remote where they are and whether or not they are alone. I'll start with myself. I am in Deadwood, South Dakota. I am in a hotel by myself. Jim?
Yeah, I'm in Chilmark, Mass, and I'm in a private home by myself, in a room by myself.
And Maura, you and Matt are in person at the office, right?
We're in room 121 at the high school.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't we start with a quick pledge and then we'll jump right into the agenda. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I always want to say amen at the end of that.
Me too.
It sounds like an amen kind of thing.
Yeah.
So let me get the agenda up. So did everybody get a chance to read the minutes?
Yes,
Any concerns, questions, or can I have a motion to accept?
motion to accept.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, roll call vote. Jim?
Aye,
Myself, aye. Maura?
Aye.
Aye, so the minutes are approved unanimously. Matt, do you want to step us through the year-end estimates?
Let's see, if you look in the Google Drive, I just uploaded the year-end DOE 25. So this is the financial report that we sent to the Department of Education, detailing out all of our operations for the year. Let's see if I can open it. Yes. Okay, so the most important one here, I'm just going to go through and let me back up. This is the report they're going to be presenting to the school board tonight, and the school board has to sign it or approve it and sign it before I can submit it to the Department of Education. And so I'm going to be talking about, let's see, there's two numbers on page 1, and that's the balance sheet, okay? In the far left-hand column of that is the general fund. Do you have the, Jim and Jamie, do you have it open?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Can you share it, Matt? Is that possible? Then anybody watching at home can see it too.
If they have a link, oh, I'm not on the Zoom call.
Oh, let me try.
Oh, is it this
Yeah.
or this is
This one.
This is what I show up right now. Okay, great.
I just got to try and grab it. Ay, ay, ay. Too many computers. So drive. I can't get to the drive because the icon for the Zoom is there. Hold on. All right, and then there should be a share screen. Host disabled. If you can enable me, I can share. Now it's sharing.
Now it's sharing?
It's saying I can. You'll have to tell me if it's really sharing.
It says, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sharing.
Oh, not that one. That's the year-end budget adjustment.
Okay.
It's that one. Okay, go to the next page.
This page here?
I have my reading glasses on, so yes, that page. So
Okay.
our left-hand column, which is the general fund,
Yeah.
third number up from the bottom. Okay, yep, that one right there. $2,282,088. That's the amount of money that's going to get returned to the taxpayers when setting the tax rate.
Okay, and that accounts for the 2.5% that's coming back that was withheld last year, and decide 2.5% again this year in the same manner, correct?
So if you look above it, the numbers that are immediately above it, the first one above is 492,000. That's all of our encumbrances or purchase orders that are outstanding that got carried into fiscal year 22. The number above that, 100,000, those are 2 warrant articles at a school district meeting. 50,000 for the unexpected expenditures. Let's see.
The 50,000 for both the unexpended and the maintenance accounts, right?
Correct. And then the one just above that, that's the 2.5% contingency, 545,000 that the school board voted in June to retain into the next year. And then and above that, 131,000. That all that is just prepaid expenses that we paid in June that really relate to this current fiscal year.
All right.
Okay.
Jim, question?
Yeah, Matt, on that 100,000 for the 2 warrant articles, is AMTS amounts?
Yes, for amounts voted. That's correct. So what happens is in the warrant article, we're using fund balance as of June 30th to fund that that particular warrant article.
Right.
Okay. Now, if we move over one more column to the right, you're going to see a negative $18,603. That's our our school food service program. So we ended up in a deficit this year, and they had pulled me aside. Just before I went out, and I may have mentioned it to this committee. Hopefully, I mentioned it to the committee before I went out. That they were having difficulties trying to get their food costs down because they were buying food at a greater amount. Okay, so we're going to be revisiting the school food service program in the next year.
Okay, Jim, question?
Yeah, Matt, is that reimbursable from some of those COVID grant funds?
Well, 100% of the meals being served are federally funded for last year, and we're also going to sign up for the same program for this current year. So really, the fund shouldn't be in a deficit normally, but what's happening is the reimbursement isn't exceeding the money that we're getting in to cover it. Can we get it covered by grant programs? No, not at this point.
Okay.
So what is it? They allow X amount of dollars and then we went over like $5 per student a day or something, and it ended up costing us $6.
It's much lower than that. We only get like $2.25 per meal.
Okay, yeah, but they're doing free breakfast and lunch though.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Jamie?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I thought that the state was reimbursing for some of those free lunches and breakfast because of the COVID.
Yeah, but they're only reimbursing up to a certain dollar amount. Our actual costs exceed that dollar amount.
Oh, the amount of the reimbursement?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to jump way down. Let's see. Let me try to pick the page. And I think this is an important one to, let's see, what page is this? It's page 25 of the, it says page 25 as a page number. Keep going, the next page, right there. Okay, so this page right here calculates the per pupil cost, okay? And I want to point this out because you're going to see that the per pupil cost increased from last year, okay? And if you look at the expenditures, let's start in the far right-hand column at the top. The total current year expenditures are $31,688,000. That number is pretty comparable to the prior year. Now, where it changes is the food service revenue. we received all of our meals. We got reimbursement for all of our meals last year for food service. However, we didn't receive any revenue from the students because it's 100% reimbursable, okay? So had we been in a normal operating year, that number would have been over $300,000 and would have brought our per pupil cost down, okay? The next two numbers are pretty comparable to the prior year, which is transportation expenditures and supplemental expenditures. And then another number that worked against us is our student count went down last year. What I'm hearing is that we're expecting to get those students back for this current year. So it went down because of COVID. So our elementary cost per pupil is $21,269. Middle school is $21,446. And the high school is $19,394.
Jim?
Yeah, so I want to re-ask that question about reimbursement. The food costs are 100% reimbursable by the federal government, right?
Yes.
I thought that also the state government was reimbursing for free and reduced lunch.
Yeah, but their share of free and reduced is extremely low. I can actually find it in this report for you.
You don't need to find it. It just, there's no way to get any extra additional money through the state is what I'm asking.
So the state's share of free and reduced lunch and breakfast is on page 4.
Okay.
And it's $9,650.
So we're 18 over including this?
Yes,
Okay.
we got on the prior page is where we got the federal revenues. I'm sorry, the prior page is the sales. We did $41,000 in sales. And then on page 5, it shows the federal revenues of $529,935.
So my last question about this is, are we going to be tracking this more closely for this year?
We absolutely are.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And I think those are the highlights for the end of year report. Let me jump into my business administrators discussion.
Yeah, just before you do it, I just want to point out on this, everybody can see that on this unassigned balance fund of 2.282 million. In June 16th meeting, we had estimated 1.177 million. So it's up about $500,000, 1.8 to 2.3 roughly. And Matt and I have talked about that, and we will have to come back and trace it as to what the differentials are. We believe the differentials are items that were thought to be encumbered, but ended up not being encumbered and not being executed against. And that's where the delta is. But that's clearly a number significant enough for us to want to come back and look at that. So I wanted to point that out to both of you.
Jamie?
Yeah.
So, but this 2.282 is a final number. You just don't know where part of it resulted from, or?
Well, no. This
Go ahead,
report tells you where the numbers come from. What Jamie's talking about is I gave you guys an estimate back in April.
Yeah.
He wants a comparison of the actuals to the estimate.
Okay, all right. But this is the actual here, right?
This is the actual.
And this is what we would be submitting to the government, to the state.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So when I have this open, I can't see my other agenda items.
Let's see. You still have it on screen share.
Yeah. I'm jumping to the other computer.
Oh,
I assume that I'll probably want to share whatever is next. Yeah, so the business administrator comments.
okay. The first one is, it's just a general narrative. Our new accounting system is up and running. We've been operating on it since July 1st. We're still ironing out some problems with it. The transition, in my opinion, has been better than expected. And this is really due to staff diligence from Marie Mundy, our accountant, and Kristen McNulty, our administrative assistant. Usually I give you guys some detailed information about the financial condition of the district. I want to give you that information after we've reconciled 1 month of activity. I just got back and I want to make sure that it's rock solid in the transition from the old system to the new system before we give you any information. I will definitely be giving you guys information at the next meeting. I just gave you a summary of the year-end report to the Department of Education, which is called the DOE 25. I specifically noted that we're returning to taxpayers $2.2 million, which is almost $2.3 million. And that also includes retaining the 2.5% contingency of $545,000. I also wanted to point out to this committee that the calculation of the per pupil costs have increased due to federally funding of school lunch and the increase, the decrease in sales from the pupils, and then also the drop in the number of students in the district. I said increase, it should be decrease.
So I also want to point out that in those numbers, we did end up in FY or in the year that just ended, we did get the paving done for both Memorial and Bakey. So if people have seen the paving on the Memorial area in Bakey, and in addition, for the amounts that were authorized, we actually got the further away parking lot paved also. That was over and above what the original plans were. In addition, the boilers are in Bakey. They'll be wrapped up by the middle of September and operational. And the vendor actually took down the old overflow tanks for us within the cost of the original quote. So that is going according to plan also. So those big ticket items are part of the last year's expenditures and not part of this coming year's expenditures.
Correct.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks for that update for both of you guys.
I have one more thing that I want to raise. I was hoping to have some financial information for leasing a pickup truck. Unfortunately, we have not been able to get pricing and financing information from our local dealership, primarily because they're running into inventory and pricing problems. Okay, so I'm hoping at the next finance committee meeting, I'm going to be presenting purchasing a truck and leasing it over a 5-year period. And it's primarily due because of this one truck is not roadworthy, and we still need it as a plow truck. Okay. Is there anything you want me to bring to the committee about that truck? I can even have it here so you can see it.
That'd be good for the next meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
Matt, was that a competitive bid? How do we decide on a particular vehicle and a particular dealer? And
Okay, so what we have been doing for vehicles, the best way to deal with it is to go to the state's bid list, state of New Hampshire, bid for all their vehicles, and pick the vehicle that you think best serves the district's needs. In the case that we're looking at a Ford F-350 single axle, so it's not a dually, and this would be a truck with a utility bed on the back. So the truck that we're replacing is a dually, so it's a 1-ton Dodge. with a dump body, and we don't feel that we need another dump body. We feel that we need a utility bed that we can give to a maintenance worker, and they can be a roving maintenance worker in the district with all their tools inside the utility bed. But then that vehicle will also be a plow truck.
So like dealing with the state insurance, is that a better deal than going out to a commercial auto dealer and asking for a price?
Yeah, so we could go and do that, but they're gonna default to the state's bid.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
I bought a lot of vehicles, and you can only really get fleet vehicles from a handful of vendors in the state, because they actually special run them so that they're at a lower cost.
So there's no benefit to going to a regular dealer then, cost-wise?
We could go to a dealer and get one off of a lot, but I think we're gonna be ending up spending more money because we really want a truck without a bed on the back. And so we'd be buying a truck with a bed, taking it off and trying to sell the bed individually.
Okay,
So sometimes it's easier just to have one built. And oh, by the way, the old truck, we're gonna be sending it to the state's auction location, which is called the White Farm in Concord. And that's how we're gonna dispose of it.
so that'll result in a little bit of return?
Yeah, the auction really doesn't return that much money. In my experience, it's only been like a couple $100s per vehicle. And quite honestly, I don't think this truck has any significant value. We're gonna try to investigate whether to trade it in, because I think we may be able to get a better value for trade-in, but honestly, the truck is in such sad shape that it's almost better just to either trade it in or give it to the auction.
So what will you be presenting to us?
What I'm hoping to do is show you the vehicle and then also present to you what a purchase agreement on the truck, and then a lease, what the lease cost will be. I got to figure out whether this committee can approve it or I need to go to the full school board.
If it's over 2,500, the school board has to approve it.
That's, my gut was telling me that we have to go to the school board. So,
Yeah.
But I really want to run it before this committee, before I go to the school board.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that 2,500 is facilities. I think finance, anything has to be finally approved by the school board, but the finance can make a recommendation.
Yeah, I think what it is because it's we're going to be proposing a lease agreement. Because it's a lease agreement, it has to be approved by the school board.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Thank you.
my report.
And thank you, Matt. The next items we have are the budget adjustments, so I will bring up those items.
There should be just one. I by mistake put it in twice.
Oh, okay. Let me know if you can see that.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, so you can step us through it.
What this is to move money inside the special education program from one line item to another. We had anticipated hiring a speech language pathologist, but we're having to pay for it out of professional services. So we're asking to transfer $62,786 from salaries to other professional services.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion made, seconded, roll call vote. Jim?
Yes.
Maura?
Yes.
And myself, yes, so that's unanimous. The next thing I had on the agenda was the trust fund balances, but I don't see anything in the share drive on the trust fund balances. Do we have those for July yet?
We actually received the reports this morning, and I was trying to finish up the state report. So I will, we're going to be getting back into a normal schedule for the next meeting. I apologize for that.
Okay. Are you aware of any, I mean, I'm not aware of anything that would have been a expense against the trust funds. Is there anything that comes to mind for you or no?
No, there's not. The only thing that comes to mind would be against the facility use revolving fund, and that would be for the ongoing cost of implementing the new software, which is not a surprise. And it's still, we're still within the authorization that we were given over a year ago. Okay, the only thing that I know about the trust funds is that the trustees have changed their who does their investing. They've asked my opinion on how we invest our funds, and I said they have to be invested as prudently as possible because it's capital reserve fund money made up of taxation. It has to be liquid, and it also has to be available when we ask for it. I do know of a committee that actually invested some of those funds in stocks and bonds, and the money wasn't there when they went to go and withdraw it.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I wouldn't expect any significant changes in the balances.
And then we had some open items. You had mentioned a while back about some roof damage at the seminary building. Is there any update on that?
The roof damage was repaired. Gosh, that was a while back. I will have to get you more information on it.
Because we were checking in also to see if that was covered by insurance at the time.
I believe that it was, but I will also make sure that that's the case.
Now, I had mentioned the Bakey boiler. Do you have any more specifics than what I had mentioned? I know that you were over there the other day also.
Yeah, no, I don't have any other additional information. Other than that, the installation looked absolutely fabulous.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, one thing that came from the meeting that you had dialed into, the facilities meeting, is the back dock area. When you're back in town, take a look at that. There's some work that needs to be done on the steps. In particular, the things that concern me the most, where there is, the metal ridging at the edge of a step, the concrete beneath it is gone, so it just sticks out, and we got a metal lip there. So that's something that Dan and Matt will be bringing to the facilities committee in the near future.
Is that used for servicing that area, or what is that used for?
Well, it's a loading dock. Basically, we just back up trucks to the dock, but kids can come running around from the playground to go to a school bus. And what James is worried about is if they brush up against the edge of the stairs, they can open.
Okay.
And just to expand on that, we have 3 areas in the district that I'm aware of that we need concrete work. Let's see, 2 loading docks. The loading dock at the high school has some areas where it's cracked out, and then the loading dock at Bakey, and then also there's a stairwell to an emergency door at Bakey that needs to be completely redone.
Is that something we have to contract out for, or do we have people in-house that can do that?
I would prefer to contract out concrete work. I don't think that we have the expertise to do concrete.
Okay.
We are looking at, for the emergency exit, putting in a metal staircase as opposed to doing concrete.
So that means demolishing the existing staircase and replacing it?
I think for that one there, we would actually put
Or you can just go over it?
over it.
Okay.
And Matt, you had also mentioned to us previously in one of your business administrator reports about the Memorial Playground equipment.
Yes.
And you were checking with the insurance company to see whether or not they would cover something like that?
Yes. No, I think that's when I went out. So I'll have to follow up on that one.
Okay. The next item was you had reported that there were 4 new leaks found in the high school roof.
Yes, the roof has been repaired. This has been repaired.
Do you have the cost on that by chance?
Not, but I can find out.
that available for the next meeting. And these were all items that were on my agenda, but when I just opened the agenda from Phyllis, they somehow got dropped. So we just need to make sure that we're in sync, that what's on the agenda that I send in stays on the agenda that goes out.
I see him on my agenda, Jamie.
Do you? Because of the one I
Yeah.
just, I didn't see it. Good.
Yeah.
Then you can tell me if I'm missing something on that agenda.
I think,
Um,
didn't Dan Doyle look into the insurance on that playground equipment?
He
I'm
submitted-
not sure who was looking into it. Matt just had reported that it was going to be checked into.
Yeah,
Dan got insurance funds for the Bakey boiler for the actual rental of the boiler for
I see.
$40. I'm not aware of any discussion with the insurance company about the playgrounds.
Okay.
And some of these will be coming in front of the facilities committee items, but I keep them on the finance ones also because I'm interested in the dollar amounts of them, because some of these might have some significant dollars. But there was discussion also about the dust collection system at the high school. Do we have some knowledge of what that's looking like it's going to cost?
Gosh, I had a price. I'm really sorry. I don't have a price for that.
You'll bring that to the next facilities meeting, or is
Or I can bring
it too
that-
soon?
I can bring that to the next facilities meeting.
Okay,
Yeah, we should probably have that on the facilities meeting, as well as the some information and maybe some pictures also of the that back dock area.
Yep.
Or Jim, we could just have the meeting over in Bakey and you can see it firsthand.
I won't be here, so,
Oh, that's right. It's not, it's only 2 weeks. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. So we can get pictures then.
yeah, pictures would be great.
Jamie, I just want to respond to Jim.
Yep. Go ahead. I can't see you on the screen.
We won't be able to make any of those repairs until next summer. I think that we have a lot of time where we can schedule a meeting so that it does occur at Bakey. I think it's important for you guys to actually see it.
Question.
Go ahead.
Matt, is there some way to cap that rough metal in the meantime?
We could probably patch it, but it's going to crumble out again. So
No, I know, but just so somebody doesn't get hurt on it.
yeah, my worry is actually removing it or cutting it short.
I was wondering if you could just like attach a piece of board to it or something. So
There's
the
already
board sticks
board.
out beyond the metal.
Let me see if I can have it filled in so that it's
Okay,
then try to get it repaired correctly next year. Okay.
I just meant as a temporary solution.
Yeah, they were putting up some pylons and some tape around it to try to keep it out, but anything we can do to keep kids away from it would be helpful.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then Matt, you had said that we were going to be wrapped up on that, and it's not much money, but it's still outstanding from the audit, the student account reconciliation.
Oh, yes, that was done. We were able to get it reconciled and figure out what the $500 difference was. It was just a double counting of a voided check.
And did we get that information to the auditors?
Yes. And actually, I'm going to be seeing the auditors tomorrow.
Because it'd be good to be able to demonstrate to them that we followed up on an audit point. We were able to reconcile the difference.
I'm not worried about the auditors on that regard. They're really, really easy to work with.
Dollar cost, we're going to try to add dollar cost to the software and subscription spreadsheet. Has anybody had a chance to work on that yet?
Yes, we're actually working more closely on that. Basically, the discussion is that I'm tying that spreadsheet into the budget this year. So it's going to have more of a managerial impact when we're calculating the budget.
Okay. Because yeah, I'd still like to see that.
Yeah.
Then another item, just other items that I wanted to review was COVID spending. Do we have an update on what we've spent for COVID? I know Tom presented a spreadsheet when you were out on, these are the funds that came in and these were the expenses against them. Has there been any update to that?
No, there has not. I know there's some updates to it that I'm aware of, but not to that specific spreadsheet. We'll get it for the next meeting.
Okay, yeah, we'd like to see that. And then I wanted to see so a lot of talk about library spending at the end of June. And I'd like to know what was the total amount that was spent for the library spending. I think that it would be prudent to be able to, for transparency to the community, particularly with all the discussions that are going on about curriculum and what are the teaching policies, it would be good to be able to say, these are the books that we bought for the kids and by grade so that everybody has access to that.
Absolutely. We can get that for you. And then,
Yeah, and then that would show what was spent and what the intents are, and then we can make sure the other aspect of that is really not a your issue, it's a Tom issue more so, is just to make sure there's a lot of teachers that bring their own books and have staffed their own libraries for the school. We should be making sure that there's a distinction so they don't lose track of what's their books and the district doesn't lose track of the district's books. And the last item that I had was the paving costs. I just wanted to see the comparison of, we had quotes and the work that's been done. My understanding is Mr. Doyle was there for the work, making sure with measurements that we were getting the proper fill on the asphalt being put down, et cetera. And they did the extra parking lot within the price, but I want to see the comparison of what those actual costs were versus what the estimates were.
yeah, I can get that for you.
Just as an aside, I had a chance to look at the memorial job. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, did a nice job. I thought so also. That was the last thing that I had on my list. Maura, did you have anything in particular that you wanted to bring up on the questions of finance?
No, I don't.
Jim, how about you?
No, I'm all set.
And Matt,
Welcome back,
anything more
Matt.
from your end? Go ahead, say again, Jim.
Welcome back, Matt.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
welcome back.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I really wasn't prepared for this. I've only been back for like a couple of weeks and I spent most of
Understandable.
trying to get the end of year report done.
Yep.
Yeah, that's necessary.
Yeah,
We'll be kind this time. We'll go through it all, the next time in our
Well, we have-
miserable selves. Speaking for myself, of course. Matt, anything that we missed that you wanted to cover from your end?
no, I think that's been a good meeting.
All right, if there's nothing else, and I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 4:07. So get a little bit of your time back. You can check your emails. I heard emails coming in while we're sitting here.
Right.
All right, Al. Thank you very much. Meeting is hereby adjourned.